What's going on, YouTube? That's me again with another video, how-to video. I got this ammo box from a hardware store. A local hardware store sells stuff like that. This is called Fat 50. It takes a 50 caliber ammunition. So I got this one from my AR, and thing is, to comply with Canadian law of storage and transportation, you need to have it locked somehow. So today we're going to make a video about how to make a lock for this thing. I know there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube basically doing the same, serving the same purpose and doing the same thing. I'm going to show you how I do it my way today. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to turn a simple metal rod into a locking device, if you want to call it this way. This thing opens just like so. We're gonna be drilling a hole here, right in the middle, and we're gonna feed a rod through this hole. This is about a ½ inch, a little bit tiny, a little bit smaller than ½ inch, a little bit smaller than ½ inch. Yeah, when I measured it, a ½ inch screw rod will go here really tight. So we're gonna have to do something to it to make it fit properly. All right, so we'll get this thing started. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so this is what we got. A ½ inch, just regular steel rod. It's about 36 inch. I don't need that much, but I just need a piece of it. But I can keep it to make more if I want to. So we're gonna turn this simple rod into a locking device, and we're gonna show you how. So I have marked up to here. You can see the line. This is exactly what I need. It's about 2.5 inches, something like that long, but I'm gonna adjust it if I need to. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna just cut this rod right here. We're gonna use a tap and die set to make some threads all the way up to here. We're gonna drill a hole through the rod here, and we're gonna just work with the shape here to make it a little bit coney, like a cone, to make it easy to go through that hole that we seen earlier. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do today. So let's get started with cutting this thing. See you in a bit. Whoop. The other way around. Okay, so we had cut about this much from here. So this is what it is. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up this sharp edges here. I'm gonna go to the garage, the grinder, and just grind it down until there's no more sharp edges. And we're gonna start I'm not sure if we're gonna start threading first, or we're gonna use the we're gonna put a hole first. We'll see. I'll just go and grind this down first, and we'll go from there. Alright, we are at the grinder, and you can see, as you can see here, there is some sharp edges. What we're going to do now is just basically just grind it down a little bit, just make it smooth so it won't cut any, well, it'll be easier to work with, and it won't cut your hands or make anything worse by injuring yourself. So basically just grind it down, just shave it off, just like that. Sorry if I'm doing this a one-hand thing, but there you go, easy. And then on the other side, just like this. Perfect, that's all we need. Alright, next step, turn this off. Alright, once this is clean and everything, what we're gonna have to do is, not sure if I need to start with putting threads on it, or I should basically drill a hole. Actually, we'll do the threads first, because we don't know how much threads we're gonna need. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this here. It's not easy to make videos with one hand. we're gonna go and make threads up to halfway, because from here to here, this is what's gonna be showing outside of the outside of the ammo box, and this is gonna be inside. So yeah, we're gonna start threading this with a tap and die set up to the middle, and we will adjust according to what we need. If it's too long, sticking out, then we're gonna have to cut it a little bit more. If it's too long on this side, we're gonna do the same thing, and then we're gonna go ahead and put a hole in here, and we'll go from there. Alright, let me set up my tap and die set, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we set up our small metal rod on a vise. I suggest you guys use a big vise, a vise that is heavy, or something. As you can see, this one is not really screwed to anything. It's just very heavy, so it won't move when I'm gonna be using the die. But if you have something that is strong, that is holding properly on a bench or something, it would be great. Anyway, that's not a point. The point is, let's start doing this, making threads up to halfway, up to here, for example. And for that, we're going to use a tap, or a tap handle, and we're going to be using 1/2 inch. There you go. I don't know if you can see it. Since this rod is 1/2 inch, we're going to be using 1/2 inch die. Alright? Yeah, there you go. The focus is focusing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this up in here. I'm going to tighten them up with these screws here. Once I'm done, we're going to start making threads here. One more thing is, some people have trouble starting making threads when they start doing this. What you can do is take this and start grind it a little bit on the edges here. Just make it a little bit pointy here, so it'll be easier to feed this through and make you easily start making threads. Some people, because this thing has to be really square going down. You can't be going this, you can't be going there. It has to be square, it has to be vertical, it has to be really, really sharp and neat for the threads to cut properly. Alright, so I'm going to do this and I'll be right back. Alright, so got this fixed and screwed properly, and it's not loose. This markings here facing down as we're gonna turn. And what we're gonna have to use is cutting oil. Okay, you have to do is just put a little bit. Sorry, my hand is going the other way, I'm not sure why. So put a little bit of cutting oil and just spread it around like this. Just a tiny bit, you don't need a lot. Just to make it easy to start cutting those threads all the way around, and you can add more if you want to. Whoops, there you go. That's what happens when you try to do a video with a how-to video with one hand. Alright, so once you do that, you put your die on top. Make sure, once again, make sure it is really, really, really like vertical, and slowly start turning it like so, slowly, until it catches. The hard part of doing this is just the start. The start is the trickiest, not hard, but tricky. As soon as you start getting those 2 or 3 threads going, then you basically, all you have to do is turn clockwise, like a turn and a half, and halfway around counterclockwise to shave off those threads. And you keep doing until you're done. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. Unfortunately, I don't have a tripod or anything to do the process, but there is videos on YouTube that you guys can look up to see how you cut threads on these kind of rods. So I'll do this and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, see you later. Alright, back again with threading this rod. So I already got halfway, and as you can see right now, it's like moving freely. That means that the threads are clean. So basically what I was saying earlier is, when you do a one turn, do a turn back. 1 turn and a half, half a turn back. And keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going all the way to the desired depth of how much you want. The other thing is, sometimes you're going to find yourself fighting with this thing. What you can do is use one of these pipes on each side. And the problem I was having is whenever I was turning this thing, trying to force it, I hit my finger against this vice metal, and it kind of hurts a little bit. But so just to give yourself some clearance and to have it easy turning this thing, just use one extension, just like a regular pipe, to extend this thing, and just you can have some clearance so you don't have to hit yourself against this thing all the time, because these handles are kind of short, they're not very long. Alright, so this is what it is basically. Let me turn it back, get it out of here, and this is the result you should end up with, something like this. Alright, come on. Whoop! Alright. Okay, so this is what we have. We ended up with this. Kind of threaded all the way halfway. Not sure if the camera will allow me to focus this thing. I'm just gonna get it out. Alright. Get loose a little bit while I'm holding this. One-man show. Alright. So this is what we're supposed to end up with. Something like this. So the threads kind of went a little bit over halfway, but it's okay. So next step, we're gonna clean up these threads. Sorry, my garage is kind of a mess. It's a big mess in here. I need to find the time to do it. I don't have the time to do it. But anyway, so this is what we want. Threads and a flat kind of part on this side. Next thing to do, we're gonna clean up these threads. I'm gonna use a wire brush or something like that. Just clean it up, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go and drill a hole in this side here. All right, see you later. All right, so we're back to take some more extra measurements on our ammo box. So this is what we cut. Okay, so this part is going to be sticking out and this part is going to be here. Alright, so here is what I figured. I'm just going to put this a little bit up in here so we can have more light so we can explain what's up. Okay, so this thing basically, this is what's going to happen. You have half of these threads. See these threads here? Okay, half of them are going to be on the inside of the box, and the other half or so is going to be on this side, right here. Okay, let me just open. Okay, let me open this first. See, all right, just like that. So this is going to go here, right in the middle. We're going to put a hole there, and when we lock it. Alright, so when we lock it, it's going to be right like this. We're going to have this much. We're going to have this much sticking out. We don't need really that much, but we're going to adjust as we go. The other thing I wanted to mention, this hole here, it's a 1/2 inch hole. Alright? If you get a 1/2 inch bolt or a 1/2 inch rod and you want to do the same thing that I'm doing, this is not going to go through. This is exactly 1/2 inch, so it's not going to go in there easily. What we're going to do is we're going to use our grinder, our bench grinder, and we're going to turn this thing and we're going to shave off a little bit of this part here so it would fit snugly in this hole. That's going to be a little bit less than 1/2 inch. We're going to grind it and go and try it and test it. But for now, like the concern is just to make this fit properly in here and get us the right measurements. We don't want it to be sticking way out, you know. We just want it to be you know, looking good still. We don't want it to look like crap either. Alright, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna put a hole. We're gonna put a hole in here, and we'll go from there. Alright, see you again. Okay, so we're ready to drill this hole here. What we did first, sorry I wasn't able to show you this, but all what I did is I put a punch hole. Whenever you drill anything, especially on metal, always put a punch. Put a hole, like basically you punch a hole in where you want to drill the hole. Why? Because that would guide your bit straight through, and it's not gonna start wobbling, and it's not gonna break your bit, and then you're gonna hurt yourself or something. So punch a hole with a punch, and that will give it the guide to go through the metal properly. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna put a little bit of cutting oil, just tiny bit, just a drop or so, and we're slowly gonna start drilling a hole through the ball right here. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we drilled a hole using a drill press, as you can see here. Just move this a little bit like this. So we drilled the hole all the way through, and what we did is we used only a small bit for now, just to give it, just to start the hole. What we're gonna do next, we're gonna use a bigger bit to enlarge this hole to accommodate our lock. So depending on what kind of lock you want to use, or what kind of chain, whatever you're using here, make sure you don't make it too big, and make sure you don't make it too small. Just check any lock and see approximately how much it would be, and use it. For this purpose, I'm going to be using this one right here. This is the one that I'm going to be using, and that should accommodate whatever the lock I'm gonna be using. If for any reason you want to use a bigger lock, then all you do basically just use a bigger one. Alright, so I'm gonna do this, make this hole. I'll be right back. Alright, so back to the grinder. This is the hole size that I decided would fit my need. Now once this thing is done, what we're gonna have to do, remember when I was showing the hole of the ammo box, and I was saying that this gonna be very tight to fit in. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna reduce the diameter of this rod, and how we're gonna do it is basically we're gonna take this rod. I'm gonna use a bench grinder. You can use any grade you want, basically, but I would rather go with the fine grade grinder wheel. So what I'm gonna be doing is, I'm gonna show you a little trick how to do it. I'm gonna put, I don't know if you can see that, I'm gonna put this side that I'm gonna reduce against the grinder, and using one finger, use a heavy-duty leather gloves or anything that, so you won't chop off your finger, or you won't grind your finger with it. So what I'm gonna be doing is, we're gonna be holding the part that I'm gonna be reducing. Just, you don't need to push it, just keep it level with the wheel, And as the wheel is turning, I'm going to be turning with it like this, just like a mill. Alright, so I'm going to be doing this, and the stone is going to be eating on the metal until I get to the width that I want. Alright, so and always use glasses or safety of some sort. You don't want to have debris flying in your eye. Alright, so I'm going to turn this on, and as the wheel is turning, slowly get close to the wheel and turn counterclockwise. Alright, and you're doing this, and keep doing it. Sure if you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so you're gonna be turning the opposite way of the wheel, so the wheel will grind the diameter of the bolt. Alright, so keep doing this. Until you're satisfied with the width you want, and until it fits in that ammo box hole. The other thing that I'd like to do is, with using the same grinder, I'm going to cone the shape of this edge. I don't want it to be flat like this. I want it to be coney a little bit. Give it a cone. So when you lock that the handle of the ammo box, you won't have any resistance here. It's gonna feed itself inside that hole. So yeah, this is how we do it. Next thing basically you do is try to fit this as you go, and if it's still tight, then keep going until it gives it a little bit of clearance. You don't need to get it like very thin, so you will be eating the metal here, but just enough for it to snug properly in that hole. So next we're gonna try it. We're gonna drill a hole in that box, and then we're gonna measure how much we need in here. All right, so that will be the next step in doing this thing. Alright, see you later. Okay, back again. Now we're done with grinding that thing. It fits absolutely amazing in here, as you can see. This is what I was looking for, something like this. Now the next step is to drill a 1/2 inch hole exactly in the middle of that thing right there. So how are we gonna define where the center of that hole is, so when you lock it this is gonna be perfectly aligned with this hole. What I do is take a piece of double-face tape, something that would stick on this side and on this side. Make sure this is a 3M tape that I had. I just cut a little piece and I put it in here. So what I did is I cut it, and I put the one face on this side. I tried to center it as much as I could, and I'm gonna peel off this side, and I'm gonna drop this thing in the hole just like so, and I'm gonna stay vertical, and I will make this other side stick to the bottom there, so I have a visual indication where my punch will go. I know some of you might think this guy is crazy and doing like overthinking stuff, but I don't want to start drilling just like that and then I figure out that my hole is not aligned, and then get into a bigger problem and then start drilling the whole thing and ruin the whole box. I'd rather give it some precision work. I'd like my work to be precise. I don't want to just start drilling and that's it, And the other thing is, this thing is exactly fit here. So if it's not aligned properly, I'm gonna be in trouble. Okay, so this is how I do it. You might, if you don't have double face tape, what you can do is put some ink here or something that would mark, put some ink or a fresh paint or whatever you want it, and just like drop it vertically in the hole and lift the thing up, and you have an indication where your center hole will be. So in my case, I'm going to be using double tape because it's going to sit properly there, I'm hoping. And that's it. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show you guys where my punch is going to go. Once, if you use a tape, then when you drop it, press a little bit on the thing, let it stick properly, and then twist the thing to release this. You don't have to have this stuck properly, or you don't have to have it very sticky to this part. You can use like a little bit of grease just to make it not stick so much. We want this side to stick, not this. We want the side that goes here to stick, not the side that goes here. Alright, I'll do this and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have determined that our hole is going to go here. So as I said, this is the piece of mark, or the piece of 3M tape that I have put on that screw. Now I determined this is where the hole is going to be going. So using a punch and a hammer, we're going to go and give it a hit right here in the middle of that tape, right here. So that would be the center of the hole. So I'm going to do that. After that, after marking a punch, then we're going to go to the drill press and we're going to drill the hole. Alright, I'll do that and I'll be right back. So using drill press, if you have access to a drill press, this is the best way to drill a precise hole anywhere, whether here or using any other application. So I have a drill press, so I'm going to be using it, and I'm using a 1/2 inch steel bit to drill a hole here, and this is the punch that we just punched right here. I don't know if the camera can focus enough to see it right there. So this is our punch. This is where we're gonna drill using the bit. And the other thing is, if you are using a drill press, I'm using some microfiber towels just to prevent the box from scratching and stuff. It's a brand new box. I don't want it to start rusting after a while, so I'm using some cloths and stuff. And also try to clamp it. If you have a clamp of some sort, clamp it to the base of the drill. This way you'll prevent this from moving, and you'll have less problems. So now when you start drilling, just align that bit with your hole. Make sure it's the point of the drill bit is touching or inside, like on top of that hole that we just punched. And you're gonna basically hold the box firmly so it won't wobble. Even though you're clamping it, it might wobble with the speed. The other thing I want to mention is, if you're using a drill press, use a medium to slow speed of the thing of the press, because if you use a high speed drill, this is where problems start, because this is going to start shaking with it, and it's not going to take, and most of the time you're going to burn whatever you're doing. So use a slow speed when you drill anything. Alright, so I'm going to do this, and I'll show you the final product. Okay, so our hole is drilled to size. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a file, and we're going to work on the edges there just to remove this rough edges here, and from inside as well. Make sure it's smooth and flat and it's not sharp. And after that, we're going to mount our hardware. Alright, we'll do that and we'll continue. Okay, so done with our hole. Now the final step, before we finish this video. So what you will need eventually, but it's really up to you, this is our product. You're gonna need a nut on this side, 2 washers, 2 rubber washers to seal that hole. Remember, these ammo boxes, they come with a seal all around. The reason for it is to make it watertight, airtight, moisture tight, whatever you want. In our hole here, we're gonna need to do the same thing. We're gonna need to seal it to keep our ammo dry and moisture free and water free and everything. So that's why we need these washers, but it's really up to you. It's optional. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put these rubber washers with these ones. We're gonna use this pressure washer, if you want to call it this way, and our lock-in nut. And also I'm gonna be using a little bit of silicone just to make that hole really airtight, moisture tight, and watertight as much as I can. Okay, so we're gonna mount this thing, and I'm gonna show you the final product, how it's gonna look like. The other thing is, if you really want to be fancy and everything, what you can do is just give this a prime it, paint it same color if you can. If you can, just paint it black. It's just aesthetic at this point, but it's optional. Alright, so I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna be showing the final product. See you in a bit. Okay, so the lock is mounted, it's tight on the other side as well. You're gonna have about this much sticking out of inside the box. Shouldn't be a problem, but this is what it should look like at the end. And yeah, so now we're gonna lock it, see if it fits. Sorry if my hand is like shaking a little bit, but we're gonna. Alright, let me hold it from here, it's a bit easier. There you go. There you have it. This is absolutely fit. It's snug in place. This is how it should be looking like. So this is the final product. Now all you have to do is basically put your lock in the hole here, and this is how you comply with the stupid ass Canadian ammo and firearm laws. Unfortunately, this is what we have to go through to enjoy our shooting sport. But anyway, it wasn't that bad. It took me about an hour and a half from start to finish, just you know, be able to do a fairly good job, I guess. The other thing that you can do is, other idea, I don't have a bolt here, to save yourself some time. If you're working on the same thing, what you can do is, instead of going through the whole process of from a metal rod all the way to this, all you can do, and you don't, especially if people don't have the required tools to do that, all you have to do basically, if you have a fair amount of tools, and if you want to save yourself some time, you can, let me show you something. I'm not sure if this is going to be, let's say, alright, let's say this is the bolt you're looking for. It's just a small screw, but let's say this is the bolt. This is a bolt, okay? All you have to do basically is chop off this part and stay with the threads, and you can basically do the same thing. That would save you a lot of time doing this thing. Next thing you can do, basically last thing, is maybe paint it if you feel like it. Not necessary, but why not? Anyway, this concludes my video about how to comply with the Canadian law when it comes to ammunition, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I was not very repetitive and I was not boring to watch. Anyway, stay safe, my friends, and see you with another video about something else maybe soon enough. All right, see you later. Have a good day.